One. Hello and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. Today we have a very interesting guest, Marissa. She's here with us today. And Marissa, can you quickly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So my name is Marissa. I live in New York, and I am the owner and founder of Boom Do-It-Yourself PR, where I teach small businesses how to pitch the press themselves without spending money at an expensive PR agency if it's not in their budget. And I also have my own business called Ricentina. And I create accessories, design accessories with like a 90s Y2K theme. And I've been doing that since COVID. And I've successfully placed myself. I was on the Drew Barrymore show, CBS, NBC, and a couple of international magazines, one in Paris and one in Spain. So that was super exciting. And I did it all myself. So I'm kind of sharing the wealth now. And I just started Boom a few months ago.
Great stuff. Yes. So you mentioned that you started this Ricentina during COVID in 2021, and then also Boom DIY PR about 5 months ago. So what inspired you to move into like PR space?
I used to teach back in the day. I was a fashion stylist. Just to kind of give my background, I went to FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology, and I was a fashion stylist in the early 2000s to mid 2000s. And while I was a stylist, I used to also teach teens about the fashion industry, all the different careers. So I've taught in the past. It's something that I really enjoy. So with that, I always get the question, how did you get on the Drew Barrymore show? How did you do this? And back when I had my teaching business, I also successfully had gotten myself on local TV shows as a fashion expert, and then they would plug my classes. And then prior to that, I designed a handmade accessories line in the early 2000s, around 2002, 2003. And I was in a lot of teen magazines. They featured all my jewelry in pretty much every teen magazine you could think of at the time. Teen Vogue, Cosmo Girl, all of the fun mags back then. And Fergie wore a pair of my earrings in one of her videos. So that was super exciting. So I've kind of been doing this for a really, really long time. So Ricentina is just another one of my ventures that I started during COVID out of boredom, but it kind of exploded. And so that being said, people always ask me, how have I done this? How do you do this? And I realized the light bulb went off and I was kind of like, I should start something because I think a lot of small businesses want to know those secrets. And I am not a PR person. I am just a small business person that has always done it. So I created this 1 hour course. It's very quick, it's easy to follow, and it kind of just tells you the foundations of all of these things you could start doing now to kind of get more visibility for your brands or your business.
Wow, that sounds very interesting. So can you tell us a little bit more about? Obviously, you managed to get your own brand featured on the Drew Barrymore show, KTLA, NBC, and magazines in Paris and Spain, as you mentioned as well. How did those opportunities first happen for you?
So there are a few websites that you could utilize. Some of them are free, some of them are not. However, it's a really great way to get hot leads. And when you get a hot lead, of course, it's easier to pitch because they're actually looking for said person or product. So the Drew Barrymore show was on a website that I use called Harrow. They've been around for a very long time. It's free to join, and you just get a bunch of hot leads every day to your mailbox. And it's up to you to pitch them yourself. So that's kind of where I started. I also use a lot of other websites that are available. If it's in your budget, I also highly recommend Press for Success. It's about $70 a month. And Sabina does a great job at really teaching you the ins and outs of PR. She interviews producers and editors and reporters to kind of get into their psyche of what they're looking for and how to pitch them. And there's so much more. I mean, templates, classes. So if $70 a month is in your budget, I would highly suggest Press for Success as well. So these are, and then like I said, there's multiple other websites. And then of course, cold pitching too. When you have the correct, when you have the correct people to send, which my course goes over how to find those emails, how to find those people when you want to do a cold outreach.
Great. So what did you learn from pitching your own brand that small business owners really need to understand?
Mm. I think the first thing to understand is you have to really, really think about how you could tie yourself and other ways to expose your brand. Like, you don't want to be so one minded on, okay, I own a boutique and that's it. So, let's say you own a boutique. I'm just going to put that out there. You're going to want to focus on regional press. You're going to want to focus on your neighborhood, your area, whatever city that you're in, local morning shows, local papers, local magazines, local digital, etc. But also think about how else can you pitch yourself? So you own a boutique, which now means you're a fashion expert. Everybody that owns a business is an expert in some capacity. So whatever your business is, you're an expert in that business. So for me, I started a brand. I used print on demand to start it. So I could even talk all day about how to start a print on demand business. That's how I started Ricentina, right? So you're an expert in something. So if you own a boutique, sit down and say, okay, what are ways I could spin myself? So maybe you're a fashion expert. You could pitch a local morning show about a specific fashion trend, maybe that's running around and is super popular, and tie yourself into your brand. So if you're not camera shy, that's a really great way to get on morning shows because they're always looking for experts and contributors and people. So figure out how to tie yourself into your brand. Figure out how to take your brand and tie it into something else. Tie it into current news, news things that are going on that are really popular, that are overtaking the news outlets right now. How can you tie your brand into that story? We call that piggybacking. So that's what you need to understand. I think you have to kind of really use your brain and figure out ways you could approach editors and reporters and producers about your business in other ways to bring the knowledge of your business to said clients or customers. Yeah.
Exactly. And also, boom, DIY PR helps business owners pitch the media themselves without needing an expensive agency. So, who is this course mainly
Yeah.
designed for?
So this course is really designed for people that are okay. Well, first I want to say if you have the budget and you can afford a few $1,000s or more a month, get a publicist because let me tell you, I want to do a shout out to publicists because their jobs are not easy. You have to form relationships. So what you're paying for is that publicist is going to take your product and they already have relationships with all of these producers and reporters, and they're just going to send out your product and say, but here, what you're working on, here's my new client, and you're going to get press like this. Okay. If you have the budget, go for it. I always say that. If you don't, then this is a great course to get started. And what my course does is it's literally a little over an hour long. It's pre-recorded. You could pause it. You have it for life. If I update it, you have access to it. And it's going to give you those foundational steps. How do you find hot leads? What websites do you use? How do you write a cold lead? How do you tie your story? What are media outlets? How do you get the names of people? How do you find their emails? How to use AI in a way, and we'll go over that a little bit later, but you want to be careful with AI, but you also want to utilize it when you can. And it's all of those things to just get yourself started. So now today you could write your first pitch and you could send it out and try, start getting visibility on your brand.
Great. So also I've seen this myself. A lot of entrepreneurs feel intimidated by
Mhm.
PR and media outreach. Why do you think that is?
I think we're all intimidated to some extent. I think people are like, oh, well, why would they want to know about me or why do they care about my brand? But the truth is the media needs us as much as we need them. It's like it's the same situation. They're always looking for new hot products, new hot businesses, new experts and contributors. That's what the media wants. It's always, turning over and especially, with social media and things going viral. That's what the media does. So don't think they don't want to know about you. They want to know about you. And I think also don't be afraid. If you send out a pitch and you don't hear anything, you could pitch the person again and again. I've had times where I've pitched 5 times until I got a response. That's okay. If you don't hear from them, wait a week and oh, I just want to follow up. And if you still don't hear from them, A month later, let's say they're working on another story that you think you could pitch them again. That is fine. It is okay. So don't feel like you're a nuisance. Don't feel like, oh, I can't do this. You absolutely can. It's not hard. You just have to find the time to do it. And I have days of the week where I work on pitching. So I work on pitching on Wednesdays and then on Saturdays. Those are my pitch days. I take the time and I spend the day like doing, and that's what you have to do to find the time and do that.
Exactly. So what are some of the biggest mistakes small business owners make when trying to get press?
Yes, so that's where AI comes in. So first and foremost, you do not want to write your pitch and make it all AI and then send it out because I could promise you they're not going to read it and they're going to now flag you and they're never going to read another pitch you send them again. So I'm not saying not to use AI. AI is a great tool. It's a great tool to get ideas. So let's say, again, you have a business, again, we'll go with a boutique. You own a boutique. You could say to AI, what are some ideas I could pitch the press about my boutique? And it'll give you some story ideas. Perfectly fine. You could be like, oh, I didn't think of that. That's really great. That's what I used it for. Now, if you're going to write a pitch, now in my course, I give templates. I have 2 templates that you could get started and it really helps. However, if you want to use AI to write a pitch, that's okay. However, you cannot copy it word for word. You have to take that pitch and then write it in your own voice. But the pitch will give you the foundation and the idea. But do not, as again, I promise you, they will know. And you'll see when you see hot leads, it'll say no AI pitches. Like they're starting to put that in because they're now, because of AI, these reporters and editors are getting a ton more pitches than let's say they used to. So they have to weed it out. So that is my one thing that I stress to people. Be careful with AI when sending a pitch. Because once they know, that's it. It's over for you. That reporter is never going to respond to you. So just keep that in mind.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
also your course is designed to be simple and easy to follow. What can someone expect to learn inside Boom DIY PR?
So you can expect to learn websites that I use that are free that give hot leads, how to do a cold pitch. We go over how to find the correct producers, editors, reporters, websites that you could use. One of the things is obviously LinkedIn is great for things like that. We go over, a little bit about AI. We go over hidden media outlets that sometimes people don't think about or know about that exist that are easier to get onto, let's say, and everything in between. But those are like the foundational things that we kind of go into. And like I said, you will have access to it forever, and you could always go back and, if you forgot something or you want to refresh something, you'll always have access to it after that. Yeah.
Exactly. And what's your goal for your business for next 12 months? And, what does that next level look like for you as well?
So right now, I would we have our course, and of course, I always want to get more people into the course, and I purposely made the course very affordable, really, so anyone can take it because part of me really does want to help people as well. And I think in this economy, it's super important because people are a little bootstrapped, and I think a lot of businesses are hurting for different reasons. So this is a really great way to just learn, and you have it, and you could get on it. I really would love to triple my intake of people taking my course, but I offer one-on-one consultations, which I also is very affordable. It's a 1 hour consultation with me, and we could kind of go over ideas and stories. And I also will give you a list of some producers, reporters, editors that you can contact that coincide with your business. So I would love to grow that as well. And I'm also looking at speaking opportunities and panelist opportunities to help small businesses, throughout the US. So I'm even looking at that. And these are the things I'm working on for the next 12 months, as well as I would love to do more podcasts too.
Great, Marisa.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to actually get in touch with you, learn more about you, connect to you, or maybe invite you to another podcast, how they can do that?
Sure. So my email is Marissa, Marissa at boomdiypr.com. You could go to our website, boomdiypr.com. I'm also on Instagram, at boomdiypr, and Facebook, same handle. So feel free. And I also want to say, if anyone wants to reach out to me after this podcast, I will send you a freebie of some tips and stuff that I will gladly email out to you in a PDF. So if you want to reach out to me via email, say you heard me on here, I will gladly get that out to you.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. I really enjoyed this episode. If anyone else enjoyed it as much as I did, please drop us a like, subscribe, and also if you have any questions for Marisa or me, you can ask them in the comments. And on top of that, if you want to actually check out the links that Marisa just mentioned, you can see them in the description of this episode. Thank you all for watching and listening. Marisa, thank you so much for being a guest, sharing your story, and yeah, I really enjoyed your
Thank you
energy
so
and
much, Tony.
this episode as well. Yeah, you're welcome. See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.